Why, hello there. Welcome back to the Fusion-only account. In the last episode, we dove headfirst into the Gacha pool and got stupidly lucky securing Gabrena in the very same 10 pull as our lost 50-50. Not only that, we also walked away with her weapons, Lux and Umbra. And today, we're diving right back into the Gacha pool once again. This time for yet another new Fusioneer for the account, the rather adorable Mornye. And you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, while editing this video, we found ourselves reflecting on our time with this account as a whole. Because over that time, we've had the pleasure of recruiting a vast and truly unique roster of Fusioneers. From the ever-flamboyant Brant, to the breathtakingly stunning Changli, to the queen of sniffs herself, Lupa, and even a devil who hunts devils who is totally not related to Dante in any way, shape, or form. Gabrena. But never, in our wildest dreams, did we imagine that the next potential addition to this account would be a walking, talking orbital laser of mass destruction, with the absolute cheek to classify herself as a support character, by the way. And yet, here we are. Because if Mornye and Amieth, with her Gundam-inspired playstyle, are anything to go by, then honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it just proves that the sky is truly the limit when it comes to future Fusioneers on this account. And you know we're here for it. But we're not going to drag this intro out, because we're excited to see if we can secure the Fusion-only account's very own adorable little scientist, sorry, Mortefi.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Our sensei, who honestly has no right being this adorable. And, of course, the Fusion-only account's very own resident orbital laser, Mornye. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go swimming.
Greetings, Rover. I will escort you for the time being.
Ranger Donjing. Worry not. My Crimson Blade will not harm you as long as you haven't done anything bad.
The streams have guided me to you. I have a feeling we'll be companions for many moons to come.
Chissa, ally of justice, at your service. Are you the one in need of a hero?
G'day! What does our loyal client wish to inquire about today?
You lose! Good day, sir!
Boss, what matter do you seek answers for today? wait for a starry night, nor tilt my gaze to seek the sky, for I have placed it at my back, in my hands, and upon my eyelids.
Well, that sucked. After a devastating 50-50 loss to our resident calculator and exhausting every last one of our resources, yes, that does include the 9 summons we had left in the shop after buying the 10 pull, by the way, which we foolishly spent on an off-screen what-if moment. But regardless, stupidity aside, we finally managed to secure Mornye. However, that doesn't mean we're done here. Because if you're a regular to this series, you already know, tradition demands that we now attempt to summon Mornye's weapon, the Starfield Calibrator, and if it's anything like Mornye herself, we foresee a great deal of suffering in our immediate future. But you know what? We like bad ideas. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to delve once more unto the breach.
Wanna catch me, huh, you thieves?
Whether you need help with working out or maintaining your health, feel free to come by my gym. We welcome all visitors.
Shissa, ally of justice at your service. Are you the one in need of a hero?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's official. The Fusion-only account is now officially broke. After spending every single saved pull we had stored away since Gabrina's debut banner, which was a grand total of over 160 character pulls and 70 weapon pulls, by the way. Our resident orbital laser finally decided to come home, even though it cost us every single pull, which is giving us some severe recurring PTSD from when we summoned for Changli on her debut banner, way back during the account's creation. But regardless, we finally managed to secure our second fusion healer as well as her weapon on the account. And that means, as per usual, we now get to move on to the fun part of the episode. Because with our saved surplus of 3,000 wave plates, it's time to actually build Mornye. We'll be maxing out her level, her weapon, and her skills, all in the pursuit of answering the most important question: is our tiny little sensei actually worth your pulls? Well, there's only one way to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, cue the montage. While we go cry in the corner trying to figure out how we're supposed to save enough resources for a meath in a 2-week deadline.
I see new possibilities. Constructing reality mapping for accumulated theories. Rest assured, I'm quite proficient at this. Variable parameters, empirical data, potential probabilities. I'll take all of these into consideration to improve our efficiency. Your influence has catalyzed a change in me. Does this progress please you? This takes me back to my first journey to the Frostlands. Wind and snow stung my cheeks. It was the first time I felt alive after a lifetime in a wheelchair. Thank you for bringing that feeling back to me once again.
Here we are, folks. After finally finishing building Mornye and editing this portion of the video, we've really had the chance to sit down and properly dig into her kit. And with that in mind, we want to share our honest opinion on Mornye, especially for those of you still trying to decide whether to pull for Mornye or save for Amith and Look. And the answer to that question is a very complicated, it depends. So, what do we mean by that? Well, let's break it down. At her core, Mornye is a very solid support, one who can rival or even surpass Shorekeeper, but only if you're lucky enough to secure her Sequence 1, which we'll talk about a little later. For now, though, we want to focus on Mornye at base, with no sequence nodes. And our opinion here is that while the buffs Mornye provides are genuinely strong, they come with a significant downside, because unfortunately, Mornye is extremely restrictive in the teams where she functions at full power. This is due to what we like to call the Zani paradox. For those of you unfamiliar with that term, let us explain. Zani on her own is a relatively solid DPS, but to unlock the true ceiling of her kit and scale her damage to genuinely ridiculous levels through the Spectro-Frazzle debuff, she requires a premium teammate who can amplify that debuff directly through their kit. And that's where Phoebe comes in. When you pair Phoebe with Zanny, you can achieve some truly impressive damage, especially if you also include Shiakana to continuously apply Spectro-Frazzle in an area of effect. The problem is, this interaction, while powerful, severely limits the number of teams Zani can realistically be placed in. Because more often than not, she simply wants Phoebe on her team. And sadly, this exact issue applies to Mornye at Sequence 0. To gain maximum value from her enhanced fort circuit, Mornye requires the target to be affected by Toon Strain, a debuff that, at least currently, can only be applied by Line, which means that if you want the full benefit of Mornye's damage amplification, she more or less demands Line as a teammate. And this problem is made even worse by the fact that the base duration, that buff is only 8 seconds. That means you need a DPS who can fully unload the majority of their damage inside that 8-second window. And to our knowledge, there currently aren't any DPS characters in the roster who can deliver meaningful damage in such a short time frame. As a result, Mornye's damage amplification will often expire halfway through a character's damage window, which significantly reduces its real-world value, which brings us neatly to her Sequence 1. Because remember earlier, when we said that if you were lucky enough to secure Mornye's Sequence 1, she could actually surpass Shorekeeper herself? Well, let's get into that. At a glance, Mornye's Resonance 1 seems fairly simple. First, she can no longer be swatted out of the sky, which, speaking from personal experience, is a very consistent pain point we've had to deal with. Second, it increases the duration of her damage amplification buff by 4 seconds, taking it from 8 seconds to 12. And at this point, you're probably thinking, so what? That sounds fine. A bit of quality of life, sure, but hardly something worth writing home about. And honestly, we'd agree with you if that was all it did. Because the part we haven't mentioned yet is that Sequence 1 completely changes how Mornye functions. Not only does it extend the buff and keep her airborne, it also removes the requirement for Linny entirely. With Sequence 1, Mornye no longer needs Liney's debuffs to access her enhanced fort circuit. Instead, her damage amplification becomes something she can reliably trigger herself. Now, whenever any resonator on the team breaks an enemy, Mornye's buff activates automatically, making it a guaranteed damage amplification rather than a conditional one. And what that means is simple. Mornye can now be paired with any character in the roster without being shackled to a single specific teammate, which, we won't lie, feels like a giant middle finger to anyone who doesn't own Line A, or already has her locked into a completely different team. So, should you summon Mornye? Our honest answer is only under 2 specific conditions. Condition number 1, you already have Line on your account. If that's the case, you gain full access to Mornye's kit and her value as a support increases dramatically. Condition number 2. If you don't have Liney and still want Mornye for any reason, only summon for her if you can guarantee her sequence 1. That single sequence node massively boosts her flexibility, removes her team restrictions, and greatly increases her overall value to both you and your account. But if you can't guarantee sequence 1, then honestly, we would strongly recommend that you save your pulls and summon for Shorekeeper instead. Now, when it comes to a mono fusion team and comparing our only 2 healers, Brant and Mornye, personally, and it genuinely hurts for us to say this, we would pick Brant over Mornye, especially if you have Brant's signature weapon. Because at that point, he isn't just a healer, he also functions as a sub-DPS support. His aerial gameplay means he's rarely getting hit, he heals in large chunks rather than small drabs, and he provides team-wide shielding on top of that. Now, to be clear, this entire segment is not us saying that Mornye is a bad character, because she isn't. Mornye is a solid support. She can prevent character death much like Shorekeeper. She provides a meaningful defense boost based on her own defense, and her outro skill offers a 25% damage amplification, which, unlike her Forte Circuit bonus, is completely unconditional and very much nothing to sneeze at. We just find it, honestly, a bit strange how Kuro chose to design her kit with so much of her power locked behind conditions and specific interactions. And with that, that's going to be all for this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching, and if you feel like we've earned it, consider dropping a comment or even subscribing to the channel. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember to take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all in the next one.